thanks so much for tuning in. Mike Fackler, Highland Park Community Church. I want to ask you a question. Why did Jesus say that? And why did he do that? What I'm referring to, you're like, well, what did he say? And what are you talking about, Mike? Well, I wanted to talk to you about this passage today. It's found in Mark 12, and it's just 3 short verses. And it says that Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put in, and he watched the crowd putting in their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and she put in 2 very small copper coins worth only a few cents. And what did Jesus say when he saw that? He called his disciples together and he says, "Truly I tell you that this poor widow has put more in the treasury than all the others. The others gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all that she had to live on." It's interesting that day that that's what he chose to pick out, and that's what he chose to show his disciples. And it wasn't about money. It was about the heart. This widow in that day had no means of income. What she had was 2 copper coins that weren't worth much, but it was everything that she had. And by her putting those in the plate, she was revealing her heart. And that heart said, "Lord, I trust you with my life. I will give you what I have, but I'm going to trust you to take care of me." So she gave everything. Can you think about how hard that would have been for her? Why do I want to talk to you about this? Jesus is inviting us to trust him with everything that we have. Everything. He's asking for our heart. And I just want to know, and I want us to think about together, how much do I trust Jesus? Can he have all of me? When I'm up against it and he's inviting me to trust him, will I do it? We love stories like this, but nobody ever wants to be in the situation of a widow. We don't mind giving when we can give from a place of strength, but what about from a place of desperation, where we absolutely have zero or little to nothing? We're like, "Lord, you can still have it," and you do it joyfully, and you do it trusting him. That's where I want to live my life. And I know, because I know you, Highland Park Community Church, that's where you want, I know that's where you want to live your life, with that kind of faith. And so, I have 2 challenges. The first challenge is simply this. If you don't have a faith like that, Jesus is inviting you to trust him today. What is it that you need to turn over to him so that you can trust him? If you don't have a personal relationship with him, what I want you to know is that he is trustworthy. How do I know that? Because all the people there, Jesus saw her, and he recognized her. And while we don't know how that turned out, the fact that he recognized her and drew attention to her like that, I believe with all that I am, God took care of her needs that way. And so whatever you need from him, he's asking you to trust him. And I'm inviting you to lay down that and trust him. The other challenge that I have is, often when it comes to money, people get a little bit touchy. And it's like, "Oh, here the church is asking for money." I'm not asking for money. This goes back to your heart. This goes back to your faith. Paul says in 2 Corinthians that the Lord loves a cheerful giver. This widow was a cheerful giver. If you're not giving, okay, this is the guilt-free zone, but maybe the Holy Spirit would convict a little bit. And I want to encourage you to trust God with the resources that he's stewarded. Whatever that number is, the Lord loves a cheerful giver. That's part of our faith. It's saying, "Lord, you've given me a job, you've given me gifts, you've given me abilities, and I'm going to give back to you as a way of acknowledging that you are supplying all of my needs." And you do it as an act of worship. You're not giving to a church. I know the name is on the check or on the envelope, but you're giving to him. And I want to encourage you to grow in your faith that way as well. Hey, thanks for sticking with me. Man, at the end of the day, it is all about your faith. It is all about your heart. That is what we care about. And that's why Jesus talked about this. It wasn't about money. It was about the heart. And that's why he talked about it. And we care about your heart. We care about your faith walk. So thanks for tuning in.